Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So as I mentioned in my last YouTube video, I was going to get food sensitivity testing, or MSA, which is a Meridian Stress Assessment. So I went and got that. It was super informative. I'm super glad I went. I was like, oh my God, take my money. And I'm gonna go through the results and sort of what they mean with you guys today. So it's gonna be a good one. So I'm just going to read this brochure to you first. So sensitivity testing, or MSA, Meridian Stress Assessment, is a non-invasive, safe, pain-free, and highly developed method of identifying specific food sensitivities, including dairy and gluten, nutrient deficiencies, environmental sensitivities such as dust, pollen, grass, and pets, hormone imbalances, including thyroid, vitamin, and mineral deficiencies, digestive problems, and much more. So that's what it is there, what they do. So they just take this little pen and you hold on to a paper towel type thing in one hand, and then she'll just touch points on your fingers and your hands and your toes to get these readings. So my reason for going was basically I have a lot of bloating and water retention and gas pains pretty consistently. And I'm hyper aware of what I put in my body, being a bodybuilder and working out like I do. So I usually eat the same things. My food choices don't vary too much. And it just seemed to be sort of random that I would get really bad pains in my stomach and a lot of gas and bloating. So I wanted to just figure it out, get down to it and what was going on. So let's get into these results and what they mean. So the first test that she did is called a base readings report. So this is a high-level test based on kind of the things mentioned in the brochure. So for example, joints, allergies, liver, spleen, circulation, endocrine system, urinary, skin, lungs, gallbladder, heart, connective tissues, things like that. So yellow is weakened, green is going to be balanced, and then pink means stressed. So as we're going through them here, I'm not going to go through all of them because there's a lot, and they all have a ID here because the explanations here are fairly vague, joints, allergies, and some of them are the same. So there's actually a little legend here, which you can go on and see a more in detail description. So in my case, this makes a lot of sense. This was not a huge surprise to me. I was 5 weeks out when I went and got this testing done. So, things are ramping up at that point. So first thing, joints. Weakened, not a surprise. I've always had weak joints. Even before I started working out, I always had knee, back, hip problems, and so on. Working out has actually improved my joints, but I know during prep, my joints are obviously under a lot of stress doing high amounts of cardio and pushing my body. So let's go look on the legend here. So we have JO1B. If you look on our legend here, JO1B is joints and spine. So that makes a lot of sense. No surprise there. Weakened. Next up, we have allergies. So let's go look at the ALR1 code. Food sensitivities. So something in there is going on. So she'll get into further detail on that. And then skipping all the way to the bottom here, we have connective tissues, which kind of goes hand in hand with joints. Let's look at the FI1B. Fibroid tissue, connective tissue, muscles, ligaments, and tendons. So again, no surprise, those are stressed. Okay, endocrine system is the next one. So let's look, TW1. TW1 is my adrenal glands. So this says produce hormones to protect us from stress. Obviously my adrenal glands are under stress. Again, no surprise. I'm actually surprised it's not worse than that, to be honest. So that was the first sort of thing she did. That went super quickly. The next thing she did was a more in-depth test here called a hold reading report. So here she went into things like neurotransmitters was the first group on the page here. And then we have nutrition groups. And then we have food. And more food on the last page. So starting at the beginning here, same thing, yellow is going to be weakened, green's balanced, and pink is stressed. So starting with the first groups, we have neurotransmitters, phenolics, bacteria, and mold and fungi. So this all came back fine. So the way that she will do this is it's the same thing. You hold on to the little thing and she's going to touch certain points on your hands and your fingers and such. And she tests each folder. So the neurotransmitters folder, the phenolics folder, the bacteria folder. If anything comes up in that folder, she's going to go into the folder and test each item within the folder to see which is causing the problem. So here, everything came back fine. I have no sensitivities with my neurotransmitters, phenolics, bacteria, or any sensitivities to mold and fungi. And then next on the next page here, we have nutrition. So starting with the folders would be amino acids, digestive aids, fatty acids, minerals, and vitamins. And then we'll keep going here with more nutrition. Foods, beverages, international foods, and nuts and seeds. So let's just go through these quickly. So I won't go through the first ones. Neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, histamine, A endorphin, bacteria, mold and fungi, all good. So here, amino acids, we have your typical amino acids, digestive aids, so the things that you find in like a digestive enzyme or a probiotic. So pancreatin, protease, lipase, lactase, papain, all of those things. Fatty acids, linoleic acid. Minerals, we have your typical minerals. I won't go through those. Vitamins, same thing. K, vitamins B, vitamins C, vitamins. All of this came back normal as well, so I have no vitamin deficiencies. And then here in the food group, it's separated down into a subfolder of sugars and sweeteners, meat, poultry, legumes, beans, fish, fruit, vegetables, grains, dairy, shellfish, condiments, baking and cooking ingredients, cooking oils, nuts and seeds, spices, and beverages. So we went through this folder. The first thing was sugars and sweeteners. This was off the charts. So, little tip there for what's coming next. So then down at the bottom we have spices, and when she went into the folder, I was a little worried it was going to be something like cinnamon or pepper or like something that I eat all the time. Turns out it was savory, which is literally only used in like the turkey that's cooked at Christmas, like summer savory. So I'm not too concerned about that, thankfully. And then beverages came up weakened as well. So I figured it was probably coffee because back at the end of university, I stopped drinking coffee for a little bit and my skin actually cleared up a lot. I've recently started drinking it again and I have no really issues. So when she did go into that beverages folder, it was coffee and it was right on the edge of being normal and abnormal. So I'm gonna just take that as I'm gonna keep drinking coffee until something changes for now. In moderation, obviously, but yeah. So sugars and sweeteners, when we went into that folder, it actually turned out to be aspartame, sucralose, things like that. So yeah, I basically found out that I'm very sensitive to artificial sweeteners, which is devastating for somebody who lives an anabolic lifestyle or a competitor. It makes sense now that during prep, I've been experiencing these issues more because my artificial sweetener intake kind of like increases throughout my prep. So everything that has artificial sweeteners, just to name most of what I can think of right now, is going to be like all my BCAAs, my pre-workout, any supplement I'm taking that's flavored or not in capsule form is going to have artificial sweeteners, including protein powder, and all of those 0-cal drinks, those all are artificially sweetened. this Walden Farms products and things like that, sugar-free syrup. It's all artificially sweetened. Coffee and tea, I'm putting sweeteners in to substitute with my sugar. Those sugar-free jellos, those are really bad for artificial sweeteners. Neo, just that's only artificial sweetener essentially. Diet Pop, anything like that. Gum is artificially sweetened. So I came home and I was like, I really want to see if this is going to make a difference and if this is going to work. So I just cut artificial sweeteners. I stopped at Popeyes on the way home and I said, I need to buy everything unflavored that you have. So I switched a lot of my flavored supplements for unflavored, as well as switching from powder form to like a capsule form when I can. So the only thing that I was left with really that was artificially sweetened was my protein powder, because I'm not throwing out 6 pounds of protein and I only eat like 2/3 of a scoop a day right now. So I know that's not causing too much of an issue. I have an unflavored creatine and an unflavored BCAA, which tastes like ass, but I usually mix in like a sprinkle of flavored BCAA just to make it like bearable. Pre-workout's the only thing that I'm still taking that's sweetened. There's no such thing as an unflavored pre-workout because caffeine tastes worse than BCAAs. It's awful. So yeah, I noticed, like, I didn't notice any, like, I didn't drop any weight or anything like that, but I did notice, like, the gas pains and the bloating went down a lot. So since then, I've just basically been surviving off of Perrier because it's naturally flavored. So the little, like, cans of, like, strawberry and peach Perrier, saving my prep. Like, saving my prep. I'm telling you, like, I'm not chewing gum. Another thing that I wanted to mention on the topic of gum is not only the artificial sweeteners in gum, but when you put a piece of gum in your mouth and you start chewing it, it tells your stomach and your digestive system that food is coming, and you'll actually start to release digestive enzymes. And so when you go to eat your meal, you have less digestive enzymes to digest your meal, which is going to cause worse digestion, bloating, gas, all the things that I'm trying to avoid. So I've pretty much completely been staying away from gum. Other than that, I also noticed on another topic, upon some investigation into my MyFitnessPal daily log, that I'm actually not eating enough fiber. I just assumed I was because I eat like a ton of spinach and vegetables and stuff every day, but I'm eating lower calories, so I'm just not getting like enough fiber for my daily calories. So I made some changes and I increased my fiber, and I've actually found that that helped a lot too. So we're slowly working through these problems. This has been my best prep yet in terms of my body responding. I'm super happy with where I'm at right now. I'll share the place that I went. Her name is Penny Ormsbee. She's in the HRM area. If you are in Halifax or HRM or even like close, I highly recommend going to see her if you have like any issues with any sensitivities or like anything just going on with your body. I also recommend getting blood work done always. It's going to give you a more in-depth view of what's actually going on with your like red blood cell count and things like that. But this was super helpful. I will link her name here. Sometimes it's covered under your healthcare as well, which is nice. Yeah, I'll put her name in the description. So I hope you got something from this. I definitely did. I went over the reports that I got like 3 times. I'm super excited to have this information, and I'll probably get some blood work done here soon as well, just to kind of confirm my findings and make sure that everything else in my body is going good. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Mackenzie Corkum.